I want to talk a little bit about some trends that we see, some actions, some opportunities, some behavior that we see from people in other areas that kind of show us the direction that we might go in this crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin financial system. Okay, and one of those trends that I want to highlight right now goes to the idea of control. We want to have more control over us. In this case, in the case of crypto, it goes to the idea of self-custody, especially. And self-custody is a huge concept in crypto. Self-custody started with Bitcoin, the idea that I have to have this wallet in order to be able to hold my assets and control my Bitcoin assets. And it moved over to Ethereum and so many other crypto assets that says, I have this wallet and I am the one who has the ability to control what happens with the data. I'm the one that has the ability to control what happens with my money, with my assets. That's a huge difference from the way we have it now. Right now, we feel like we have control, but we actually don't. My money goes into a bank, and that's essentially the bank's money. It's technically on their balance sheet now. That's a deposit that I've made, but it's now on the bank's balance sheet. My assets that are held with Schwab or Fidelity are not mine. They're Schwab's and Fidelity's, and I have beneficial ownership. They're not my assets. So as much as I think I have control, every time I do something, I'm actually asking the bank's permission, or I'm asking Fidelity's or Schwab's permission. It goes the same with my data. My Google owns my data. Facebook owns my data. Amazon owns my data. Now, I'm not saying these are bad, nefarious companies that are doing horrible things with it. I'm just saying we realize that we don't control it. We have seen people that have been deplatformed from Twitter, that have been deplatformed from YouTube, meaning they can no longer post there. They might have built an entire business based on their Twitter profile or their YouTube channel, and they can no longer do that. They don't own and control their own destiny. They don't own and control their own data and their own assets. Even my health information, I don't really control that. The hospital has it. My doctor has information. If I want them to send it to another doctor, if I want them to send it to an insurance company because I might want to get life insurance or health insurance, I have to ask their permission, and someone has to actually pay them to do that. That's my information. So what am I talking about with control? The idea of crypto and Web3 and wallets and custody, part of the idea is giving me back control of my own data, my own assets, which gives control over my own money, over my own future, over my own present. The analogy what we can look at is as simple as streaming media. So years ago, and most people will remember this, you had televisions that had a cable box, and you had a big thick cable that came into your house, and you attached it to a cable box, and you had to watch whatever was on TV when it was on TV. That was just what we did. You had to listen to whatever was on the radio when it was on the radio. Yes, you could buy CDs if you wanted to. You could buy cassette tapes, and you could buy CDs, and you had to listen to whatever that band wanted to put in 9, 10, 11 songs. And most of you will remember the fact that there was usually like one or two really good songs, and you had to suffer through the rest of their kind of not so great drivel songs to get those two good songs on the CD. Same with the radio. You had to listen to everything they played, and hopefully you would hear some songs that you liked, and you had to listen to when they played them. Same with television. Then with television, we got things like TiVo, which meant I could now record. I could pause live TV. That was revolutionary. I could record something and watch it later when I wanted to. And then TiVo, it became basically incorporated into my cable box. With my cable box, I can now pause live TV. I could record things, and I could have, series of recordings, and I was limited on how much recording space I could have, but I could record it. And then lo and behold came Netflix. And Netflix first started, remember, all they would do was send you DVDs in the mail. You would have a membership. I could get 3-4 DVDs at a time. They would send them to me. I would send them back. That was Netflix. But then once we got fast enough internet, they released streaming service, which basically said, now I can watch a TV show or a movie anytime I want. I can watch all the movies they have available anytime I want to, when I want to. That was revolutionary enough. Amazon Prime did the same thing. And then we moved from that to Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and everyone else producing their own shows. They didn't have to go to movie studios to produce shows that went to the movie theaters, or TV shows that went onto network or cable TV. Amazon, Netflix, Hulu were producing their own shows and their own movies, and they were distributing all themselves. And what we had years ago was what we called cord cutting, right? People would get rid of their cable box and say, look, I just want high-speed internet coming to my house. I'll have Netflix and I'll have Hulu and I'll have Prime, and I'll have Disney Plus if I have kids and all those others. And I'm going to watch what I want when I want. And Netflix would even put out a whole season of TV shows in one time, and we could binge watch it. That's when binge watching became a thing, because Netflix gave us the ability to watch an entire season of a show at one time in one, 10, 12-hour sitting. And what we realized is early on that the cord cutting was because we wanted to save money, because cable costs so much money. And if I could just get a high-speed internet connection and Netflix and Prime, I could watch pretty much anything I want. And then I would add Hulu, and then I would add Disney Plus, and then I would add Paramount, and then I would start adding others. And if I look at my bill now, what I pay for high-speed internet plus all my streaming services, it's more than I ever paid for cable at this point. I have so many streaming services to watch one TV show here and one TV show there, and this one has movies and that one has movies, and there's some that I really want to see on one streaming service or another. And now I'm paying more. And if I wanted to pay less, which everyone thought it was just a money thing, if I wanted to pay less, I would go back to cable and I would get the old cable box. But I don't care about that. What I care about is that I have full control over what I watch and when I watch. Yes, if I want to get something with live TV, I can record it. But for the most part, I watch TV shows and movies I want when I want. And I'm willing to pay a little bit more for that level of control. If we extrapolate that, if we go to what we're seeing with blockchain data, if we go to what we're seeing with crypto and DeFi and the idea that I can have a wallet and control it, people want to have control over their data. People want to have control over their money. And if you give them the technological ability to do it, they're going to do it. Even if at some points it's a little dangerous, even if at some point they don't quite understand it, and even if at some point maybe it costs a little bit more, they would rather have more control over all of that than less control. Again, the analogy I'll give, what I will point to is the fact that we have gone to this level of all this control over what we watch, what we listen to. I could talk about Spotify as well. We control much more what we watch and what we listen to, even if we have to pay more for it, because we want that control. Crypto, blockchain, DeFi, Web3, Bitcoin is going to give us that. It's going to give us that, but over our money and over our data. And people are naturally going to go that way because when we have the technological ability to do so, we are going to do it.